Does your email inbox look like this? If this looks familiar, it's probably because you're making this super common email mistake. I'm James, an engineer and a productivity nerd from Seattle, Washington. I talk to a lot of people about their workflows, and by far one of the most common complaints I see is about email. And probably 90% of the time, if someone is struggling with email, it's because they're making this one big mistake. And that mistake is using your email inbox like a to-do list. Your email inbox actually makes a terrible to-do list. Let's talk about why email is bad as a to-do list and what we can do instead. Here are 3 reasons why email makes a terrible to-do list. Reason number 1 is that it makes you reactive. If you use your inbox like a to-do list, that means if you want to get anything done, you need to keep your email open. And if you keep your email open, guess what happens? More emails come in. In our heads, new things feel important. So the first thing we do when we see a new email is go check that. So even though you were in your inbox to do a task, you got distracted by a new message. Instead of getting your work done, you're reacting to new emails all day. This kind of context switching takes a lot more time than you think it does. Every time you switch tasks, you have to reload the context in your brain about what's going on with that task. Of course, it's important to respond to people in a timely manner, but as knowledge workers, we don't want to be reacting all day. A lot of our tasks require deep focus that you just can't get when you have your inbox open all day. Reason number 2 email makes for a bad to-do list is that there's no room to define your tasks very well. Often, a big barrier to starting a task is not having a clear definition on what you're doing. And that email sitting in your inbox is often not a clearly defined task. As far as I know, your email client probably doesn't have a good place to write out exactly what you need to do. Instead, you have an email that's sitting in your inbox without any clear instructions. And without those clear instructions, the last thing your brain wants to do is think a little harder. So instead of thinking a little harder, it checks to see if there's new emails, and we're back to the reactivity. For example, your boss might send you an email that says, hey, get those TPS reports in by Friday. While that sounds like a clearly defined task, it really isn't. There's a bunch of sub-steps that go into that TPS report that you need to start before you can even begin to tackle sending your boss the report. You might need to get data from someone. You might need to manipulate that data. You might need to ask a colleague about how to format something. If these subtasks are sitting in your head and not clearly defined somewhere, you're going to feel a huge resistance to starting that task. So without a good way to define our specific tasks, our email can't be a good to-do list. And the third reason why email is a bad to-do list is that there's no great way to prioritize. Your email inbox might have things like flags for important or stars for special emails. But if you've ever tried to use those, you'll quickly find that you have like 20 starred emails and 15 important emails. And if everything's important, then nothing is getting prioritized. Because your email is almost always sorted by date, and there's not really a great way that you can set your own order, there's no way for you to know which email is most important. So when you go to your email inbox to figure out what to do next, you're not sure. And you have to read all these different emails that have maybe nothing to do with the thing you want to do next. And you have to decide right there on the spot which one you need to open. And again, while you're doing this, you might be getting new urgent emails, which are further distracting you. So for those 3 reasons, email makes a terrible to-do list. Let's talk about what you should do instead. The easiest way to fix this common email mistake is, you guessed it, a to-do list. It doesn't matter if it's digital or paper, get a to-do list. I like the app Todoist for Windows users, or for Mac users, I like the app Things 3. Another good alternative is a piece of paper or an index card like this one. Once you have your separate to-do list, you can start to transfer tasks from your email inbox to your to-do list. This might feel like an extra step, but what it does is it removes you from that reactive environment of the inbox to a proactive environment of your to-do list. Let's run through an example to show you what this looks like. First step, take a deep breath. You're going to go into your email inbox and it's going to be okay. Open your first email and ask yourself these questions. Question 1. Do I need to do anything about this? If you don't, and honestly, most emails, you probably don't have to do anything with them, you can just archive it. Next, ask, can I do this task in less than 2 minutes? Let's say someone asked you a question about where to find a file, and you know exactly where it is. You can answer that right now and just get it done. Any email you can finish in 2 minutes, just do it. Third, ask yourself, is this an actionable item? Sometimes we get emails that are useful references, but they're not really actionable. For emails like those, you can just go ahead and save that reference to your computer and archive the email. Now, if you've gone through those questions, this email is actionable, and that will take you more than 2 minutes. Here's where we add a task to our to-do list. And you need to get specific about what your first action is going to be. Don't write down something as vague as finish the TPS report by Friday. Write down all the steps you need to do to finish that report. Go ahead and repeat this process for all the emails in your inbox. If your email inbox has thousands of emails that are left over, that's okay. You don't have to go through all of your email right now. Once you get comfortable with this process of moving emails to your to-do list, you'll find that you can just archive a whole bunch of super old emails. Now, go ahead and close that email inbox so you're not tempted by new emails. Take a look at your to-do list and figure out which order you want to tackle each of these. Email can feel super overwhelming, but with this one technique, separating your to-do list from your email inbox, you'll be able to tackle your inbox much more confidently and without getting distracted. Give it a try and let me know how it goes. If you liked this video, you might like this video on daily planning. Or you might like this video that the YouTube algorithm handpicked just for you. See ya.